Welcome to Wine Country at Work. I'm Ralph Demetrius, your host. These are highlights from the episodes from 2016.
But there is no winery that defines this district better than Stag's Leap Wine Cellars.
Today we're dropping in on this iconic winery to take a look at their new visitor center.
In truth, in Napa, we're surprised when the hospitality isn't first-rate. But with their new visitor space, Stag's Leap really kicked things up a notch. It's a nice experience for the people working here, too. They enjoy sunlight and vistas all day long rather than being in a dark room all day, which is common in many tasting rooms.
What's the title of the calendar?
So it's called Napa Valley's Most Decadent Male Winemakers. We had to use the word decadent in it because it's a wine descriptor.
Yes.
So we thought it'd be very fitting to use in this calendar. People are so forthcoming and giving and sharing, like, oh, I'll help you out. Let me stop what I'm doing and help you out. Or, even drive you to where you need to be. And so it's amazing.
Well, it's that combination of, farm country, which has always been a cooperative venture. That's the nature of farming. But it's also hospitality mixed together. And it adds that extra little zinger because people really are amazingly cooperative. And remember during the quake, how much people helped each other out without thinking twice about it.
Yeah, and it was amazing to see on each shoot that I did, everybody stepped up. The winemaker said, let me help you move this gear. Let me, they're so in hospitality mode. And they would actually literally help me with props or come up with ideas and really drive the focus of a lot of the shoots.
This building had not been retrofit back in 1982 as the first building was, and so in 1989 the building damaged to the point it was closed to the public for 23 years. Jean-Charles Boisset told that even a moderate earthquake would bring the damaged building to the ground. He launched a 9-month earthquake retrofit program starting in January of 2012. It cost many millions of dollars. Scaffolding was placed around the entire building. Many of your listeners or viewers will remember the ivy that grew on the outside of the building, which was quite beautiful, but it was killing the building, so all the ivy removed, scaffolding built. 30 workmen spent many months chiseling out the old mortar and cement, putting new in, and then they removed the rotten roof completely, drilled down in the middle a 6-inch wide hole with a diamond drill from top to bottom, put steel rods into the hole, poured epoxy and cement in. It took 2 months to dry, eventually fusing the steel to the stone. The steel rods are every 4 feet around the entire building.
That was a very long drill.
38 feet from top to bottom.
It's a little lonely standing on my own, and I wanted you to know that when you come on home to Oakland, my light is on, my door is open, and you can occupy my arms if you're lonesome, baby, if you're lonesome. Come on home to Oakland.
Personal interest of yours?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I've always been interested in it ever since I was little. I was fortunate to be living in the Bay Area and getting to go to San Francisco often, but also getting to go to New York and Chicago and different metropolitan areas where busking is a lot more prominent. And always that was what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, what's that guy doing, over there. Phenomenal skills, whether it was the dancing or musicians or even somebody reciting spoken word. That kind of energy it takes to stop people in the street, to stop their everyday life where they're going, interrupt it in a way they want to be interrupted.
So Chris, what I really want to know is what your family's experience has been from being biodynamic farmers.
So for me, the cool thing is I can tell you the real life experience of being a conventional farmer and then the transition to biodynamics. Because we've been living in this farmhouse here for about 35 years. And when we first moved out here, it was 1980, Halloween of 1980, we came out here and we farmed conventional because we didn't really know any better. And we just kind of went out there and all our neighbors farmed a certain way and we kind of saw what they were doing, we kind of copied them. I kind of call it the spray and pray method, but you know, if there was a problem in the vineyard, you talked to the Monsanto guy and he gave you a big bag of methyl ethyl bad stuff and you went out and nuked the vineyards. But see, prior to this, the property had been left vacant for 50 years, so it was a beautiful garden. It was in great shape because no one really had farmed it, so it was left to its own devices. It was very healthy. But then we got in there, we cleared the land, put up the fencing and started spraying and planting grapevines. And every year I watched that property slowly die and die and die. And then you fast forward 10 years and I remember walking through the vineyards and the grapes looked good, but there was no cover crop. It was dirt, and that dirt was either rock hard or it was pulverized talc. Every time it rained, there would be erosion issues. We had phylloxera, we had nematodes, outbreaks, and worst of all, our wine quality wasn't getting any better. And for me, the big moment was I remember being in the vineyards, and the only sound I heard was wind. Oh. No bugs, no birds, nothing.
So we have long been connected here before moving here, which we did in '99. We settled in Sonoma, and now sort of getting into this whole film festival world, which we'd had nothing to do with prior, filmmaking, film festivals. But we discovered, lo and behold, that sleepy little lovely Sonoma had a film festival, an annual festival, and we attended the 3rd and 4th years, and we realized that someone didn't know what they were doing because hardly anybody was attending. It was terrible. The filmmakers came to show their films and no one would show up in the theaters. And I said, what's wrong? This is such a great place. It's such a, why isn't this thing so super successful, right? With everything it's got going for it. So anyway, that group kind of tossed in the towel after 4 years, and Brenda, my other half, had volunteered to just take it over after offering to help with the marketing. And they said, no, it's yours. You just take it. And I ended up helping her. This was right before 9/11. So her new board voted to toss in the towel 2 days after 9/11. And she hadn't even done her first festival yet, but she'd been working for 4 months on a rebranding strategy and a whole new marketing campaign. So I jumped in to help her. And what was neat is we ran that festival for 7 years. And every year we ramped it up, you know, starting from nothing. Audience tripled and doubled and 50% growth. The audience was growing, but more importantly was that we were meeting a whole fresh batch of people from the film industry every year who were coming up because they wanted to have their films in the festival or come talk on a panel or whatever. They were falling in love with the wine country. They were loving the experience we were creating, the hospitality we were extending, right? They were appreciating our audiences. And we were meeting them, and we were all of a sudden, we were sort of becoming like film people. And, oh, that's that crazy couple that runs the Sonoma Valley Film Festival.
We hope you enjoyed these highlights from 2016. Please join us next time for more adventures in wine country.